Hello and welcome to my studio journal. Now back in 2022, I started to redesign my home studio, shifting from software to hardware for the first time. What began as a few videos for some curious students soon became an ongoing unfiltered record. That's what this rack unit looks like. Okay, so now I can either have it sitting right here. Now that poses a problem with, well, the Korg mini log was using the power distribution center that was in that rack right now, and so was the USB hub. If I keep that whole unit right there, that's not a problem. If I get that 20-foot snake, well, that mixer will reach. A 20-foot snake, the cords could go all the way over to underneath there, which would cover up that mess of coaxial cable coming out of the wall. And also, I would be able to use that power distribution center over there to plug in the Korg and the USB, and nothing would change from the previous configuration other than the fact that I have everything together then. If I have the rack over there, it makes this area look a little bit lighter. I can also then recenter the keyboard tray, which I had to move over because I didn't have room for the rack underneath the desk there. So this would solve all the problems of having the Korg and everything be able to plug into the power unit down there. Because I was planning on it being under a shorter desk, you can see the top of it, that doesn't look that great. So the other option is that. I mean, I still have the brackets from the shelves there, but I would take those off and I would simply put that shelf down there with the mixer on top. You don't see the ugly cut of the top of the unit. That also allows me then to use more rack gear. I could put it all the way to the bottom rather than having to dance around that leg over there. This also means everything could plug into the power unit that's in there, as well as I can use the snake that I already have. All 16 tracks, all 16 channels go in there. Only thing I might have to do is reposition some of the units in that particular setup. Because the mixer is higher, before the mixer was over there, right there, it was too low to be able to see from the Yamaha Mo DX. Over here, couldn't see if anything was coming through. And if you were on any synth on this particular wall, you wouldn't be able to see what was coming through there. Now, does this mean that you would still have to bounce back and forth between, if you're mixing at this desk over here, that you kind of have to bounce back and forth? Well, kind of, but I've also seen other studios that have everything else sitting in different places in their studio as well. The one thing is, I'm not actually mixing with that board. All I need to do is just make sure that the levels are right when I'm tracking out. This might be the way I want to go. I'm kind of liking the look of this, so I'm going to leave it like this overnight, see what I think. Originally, I had all big spaces like what that top shelf was over there, and so it made the room look less dense. And then when I started putting in these rack units over like this, then all of a sudden it really got to look dark in here. Cut away a lot of the light instead of it being nice and light. I don't like the fact that the mixer is taking up all that space. I have this little stand above the Machine Plus. I was kind of thinking of a Arturia Microfreak. So that would leave room for that. And if I hook that other tray back up there again, I could maybe put two smaller synthesizers up there. Get to the Akai Force pretty easily, I believe. So that solves that problem. It also solves the problem of the power issue. It also solves the problem of having to go not buy more audio cables and cords and all that sort of thing, because I'm just shifting it from one side to the other side. Should be enough cabling to go that way. Like I said, I might have to buy two balance cables or something like that for the DeepMind 12 that are a little bit longer. But that also means that I can probably use the Mo DX, those cables for the Mo DX instead, so there are cables there. It also means that I don't have to try and figure out another USB system, because both hubs, I want to have the synths hook into the hubs, which works out fine. Having everything set up to the DAW, like to Ableton, would allow me just to record like I normally record, and it would also allow me to use the Akai Force to its full abilities and the Machine Plus to its full ability, because with Ableton Link. I still see this going on for another bunch of days, but it's getting closer to my personal dream setup. Once again, that's it for today. If you'd like to follow the full journey, check out my online studio journal linked in the description. Until next time, I'm just a music teacher having fun. Catch you on the next one.